One person who wasn't in the Epstein files was Diddy. And this person said the reason why Diddy wasn't in these files was because he was his competition. So I was like, man,
he was whose competition?
Epstein.
Oh,
Diddy was Epstein's competition.
No way.
Diddy wasn't at none of the Epstein parties or at the eyes.
50 Cent just dropped a bomb, revealing why Diddy didn't show up in the Epstein files. Hidden videos, shocking testimonies, and Hollywood's biggest names all start to connect. His new documentary is coming, and it promises to expose the secrets behind Epstein's private island and the dark truth no one expected. Let's dive into who was involved, the connections, and why Diddy's name mysteriously isn't in the files.
This is a tip back in 2009 that was sent to the FBI that references Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T. It says, on July 10th of 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, someone called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. This person said in approximately 1994, she revealed herself as a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse that occurred during parties, and she also described someone as a friend of someone. In approximately 1996, she revealed that she resided with someone somewhere. An unknown man abducted someone from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as Jay-Z. This person claimed that Harvey Weinstein inserted his fingers into... She believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This person estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an indoor setting. She said that she suffered abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She claims that she recalled Leon Black and William Barr, the current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse.
And get this, just a week ago, the Department of Justice dropped over 3 million pages of records, along with 2,000 videos and around 180,000 images tied to Epstein. Most of it is redacted, sure, but the unredacted stuff? Absolute chaos. It showed Epstein rubbing shoulders with some of the most powerful people in the world. And here's the kicker, one name everyone expected to see missing was Diddy. Yup. Arrested almost a year ago, notorious in his own right, tied to over 100 lawsuits with allegations just as horrifying as Epstein's. And yet, nothing in the files. Now hold up, think about this. 2 of the most infamous alleged predators in the world, moving in overlapping circles, and somehow no documented connection? Wild, right? And it gets crazier. Diddy's best friend Jay-Z pops up dozens of times in the files. One report even claims Epstein was using Jay-Z to control the streets through entertainment. Apparently, the CEO of Barclays tells Epstein that the reason the public isn't rising against the elites is because they're pacified by bread and circuses, hip-hop culture being one of them. And he straight up says the group that should be in the streets has been bought off by J-SO while everyone around Diddy is hanging out with Epstein, going to parties, rubbing elbows. Diddy himself, the alleged mastermind behind one of the biggest entertainment empires, is completely absent. Some online sources say it's because his name hasn't been redacted yet. Others point out that in the files, Jay-Z and Epstein are meeting a third person whose name is redacted, and the same redaction shows up across multiple documents. Could it be Diddy? Could it be someone else? Once you connect the dots, it starts to make sense, and the picture that emerges is way bigger than anyone expected.
Stretching his fingers like, another post. 50 probably woke up, saw the headlines and said, God is good. 50 Cent jumped on Instagram and posted the article on his page and wrote the caption, I know I'm late on this, but this is kinda crazy. What do you do to get thrown into that mix? And he posted a picture of Jay-Z and wrote the caption, damn, they got my man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this. Bro, don't tell me you about to do a Jay-Z documentary that's gonna be even more spicier than the Diddy one you dropped. Now, we all know that 50 lives for moments like this. This is like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and tax season combined in one. 50 don't even need facts. He needs
And it didn't stop there. 50 Cent saw Jay-Z's name in the files and immediately went off. He said straight up that he was dropping a documentary on this. And if you rewind a few weeks, he already announced part 2 of his Diddy documentary, promising to expose even more names. We're talking 300 hours of unreleased footage that directly implicates other powerful figures. This isn't just some random gossip. 50 Cent is about to show how Jay-Z and Diddy were connected to Epstein, and how these circles overlapped in ways nobody expected. Think about it for a second. Diddy and Epstein were running in the same elite circles, meeting the same people, attending similar events, but somehow their paths never officially crossed in the files. Coincidence? 50 Cent doesn't think so. He's building the case, connecting the dots, and the picture he's painting is insane. It's messy, it's shocking, and it's exactly the kind of revelation that will make the internet explode once the documentary drops.
Jeffrey Epstein's victims have long said they believe they were being filmed by the sex offender. And this footage from a spy cam style camera inside Epstein's Palm Beach house appears to show just that. The footage has been obtained for the first time by Channel 4 News. Because the quality is so grainy, during our investigation we analysed it frame by frame, and we've slowed it down here so that you can see what's happening. A man, likely Epstein himself, at one point looks towards the hidden device. Images of what seems to be his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as what appears to be several women or girls. So how do we know what this is and where it comes from? Epstein's Palm Beach property was raided by law enforcement in 2005, where police filmed this footage. Pause it here. You can see his office in the corner of the ground floor living area. This is the exact same office captured in the spy cam footage.
Now here's where it gets even crazier. Diddy and Epstein? Their stories are strikingly similar. Some sources even suggest that both might have been assets for a foreign government, which could explain a lot. The reason Epstein's name doesn't appear next to Diddy's in the files? Simple. He wasn't about to expose another valuable player. Suge Knight even mentioned that Diddy was working with the federal government. That's why his mansion was loaded with cameras, not for decoration but for control. One tweet summed it up perfectly. Diddy wasn't just throwing lavish parties, he was collecting blackmail material. Using the footage to leverage powerful people. Sound familiar? Epstein was doing the exact same thing. Cameras hidden all over his island, in his home and office, recording victims and accomplices alike. And yet, like Diddy's tapes, most of this footage never surfaced publicly. Survivors testified it existed, but the government consistently denied it. Make no mistake, this wasn't random. The recordings weren't for entertainment. They were weapons, tools of manipulation and blackmail, used to maintain control over some of the most powerful people in the world.
Minaj had to say. She wrote, "Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up." And yeah, she's not the first person in Hollywood to say that. I just don't know how much could be in our face anymore before we wake up and realize these people are ruling over us, and they win when we're fighting with each other. That's just the reality. I really don't see how you can have a ton of success in Hollywood and not be in the club, because Hollywood was founded upon this. I just don't really care what you call me. It's time for everyone to wake up.
Epstein and Diddy weren't just operating separately. Evidence suggests they were working together in a massive blackmail ring, coordinating to target some of the most powerful people in the world. And just like Diddy, the rumors around Epstein's connections in Hollywood had been swirling for years. Even Nicki Minaj called it out publicly, tweeting about Epstein's deep ties to the entertainment industry and taking aim at Jay-Z, saying, "Do y'all even understand that these people have been sacrificing children to gain and hold power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time I share some story times because I've been holding back what I know." She didn't stop there. Minaj also revealed that she won't release new music until her contract is renegotiated, exposing the sabotage she claims she uncovered from Billboard and the industry elite. Her tweets paint a horrifying picture of what's really happening behind the velvet ropes of Hollywood.
D and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, oh, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars. Man. Liars are now the face of our culture.
The most shocking part? We've known for years that Jay-Z was involved, yet nothing was ever done. Kanye called out both Jay-Z and Pusha T years before these files even dropped, exposing them long before the world had the proof.
Writer and broadcaster Esther Krakow joining us from the UK. Esther, this is a shocker. He is a disgrace. What more can the royal family do? They obviously want him to hide from public sight forever.
Yeah, I think the latest basically series of the Jeffrey Epstein files is kind of what pushed the king over the edge. And I'm sure he's kind of slowly losing his mind because they wish the scandal would go away. But obviously the complete lack of judgment by the Yorkses, so Sarah Ferguson and the prince formerly known as Andrew, has just kind of made this much worse. I mean, I would say this latest entrancement has shown actually the greed of Sarah Ferguson. But on Prince Andrew, there was a picture that is now circulating of him on all fours hovering over a woman that we don't know, that is not moving. And obviously this doesn't necessarily suggest any wrongdoing, but it just shows the kind of the degree of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And I think the real scandal that people just can't get over is the fact that he actually repeatedly denied having any sort of contact with Jeffrey Epstein after his conviction for pedophilia and and that's clearly proven to be false. Even Sarah Ferguson, in an email exchange a couple of years, I believe, after he was convicted, said that she wanted to be his pet. So clearly this is not someone who had disavowed this man until they actually had a public falling out, I think in 2011, where they severed ties completely.
See, some of these Sarah Ferguson emails are pretty disturbing too. It seems that she's aware at least of the role of girls and beautiful women in all of this. She seems to be encouraging and even offering up people.
Epstein had a secret child who was taken from its teenage mother at birth. This according to newly unearthed documents from the investigation into Epstein's crimes. Buried in the latest batch of the Epstein files are claims that Epstein fathered multiple children, including one by a teenager. In an anonymous diary entry, a woman describes how at 16 or 17 years old, she gave birth to a baby who was taken away from her just moments after delivery. Included is a copy of a pregnancy scan dated to 20 weeks gestation. She alleges Ghislaine Maxwell supervised the birth and writes that Epstein told her he wanted to create a superior gene pool. The diary was shared by the woman's lawyers, with federal prosecutors investigating Epstein and Maxwell. The Times was able to confirm the woman's real name, but has chosen to protect her identity. I was not able to verify the woman's claims, and if true, what happened to the newborn. It's never been publicly confirmed that Epstein fathered any children, and there's no mention of any offspring in a will he drew up in the years before his 2019 death in a New York prison cell. But several names in the will have been redacted.
This isn't even the first time allegations like this have surfaced. As we dig through Epstein's old interviews, it's chilling. He confessed to his crimes, openly admitting to exploiting young women and justifying it by saying it was okay because he paid the mothers. What happened to the babies after he took them? That's still mostly hidden. But judging from everything else he did, it's horrifying beyond imagination. One thing is clear. Epstein was human trafficking on a massive scale, and just before his death, he was planning to expose everyone involved. And it gets darker. Bill Gates is now tied into the files, with emails showing he allegedly used Epstein to source women. His ex-wife, Melinda Gates, confirmed that the release of these documents reopened memories of their marital struggles linked to Epstein. Gates claims he only attended dinners and never visited Epstein's island, yet the documents suggest otherwise. Even government officials weren't immune. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick brought his family to Epstein's private island in 2012, contradicting earlier claims that he had cut ties. And yes, Elon Musk also appears in emails, asking to be invited to Epstein events. The Department of Justice recently declared the review of the Epstein files complete, with no new charges, but this has only fueled outrage. Survivors and lawyers are still fighting for full transparency, angry that redactions accidentally exposed some names while hiding others. Millions of pages, thousands of videos, and hundreds of thousands of images. The deeper you dig, the more you realize this isn't just about shock value. It's about accountability. Being mentioned is one thing. Being connected is another. But understanding the system that allowed this all to happen, that's the story the world needs to hear. If you want to follow 50 Cent's upcoming documentary, get the latest breakdowns and see how all these connections fit together, subscribe and turn on notifications. Then drop your thoughts below. Is this all a coincidence, just social overlap, or something much bigger?